Okay, that was really good. That was really good. That scene with Ais was really, really good. For those who don't know, I'm not a big fan of Ais. I don't think she's a bad character or a bad person or anything. I just find her to be really boring. I mean, that was why the whole like sword oratoria, I snored half the time. It was just extremely boring. I just don't find Ais' character to be very entertaining or to really add much chemistry. Yes, she's a great storyline character for Belle, somebody that he's striving for, somebody that's really strong, and that's obviously what kind of opens up the door with this episode with her character. But I've never really found her interesting. So with this episode, I was like, okay, finally, she's plot relevant. Like, finally, there's something that Ais has done that was really, really incredible. I honestly felt like the moment that he ran up to Ais, I'm like, there it is. Here's that last step. And I really feel like the writer kind of built it that way. The writer really kind of came up to this moment with Ais with kind of two paths that can both work. It could have totally been wrote to the idea that Ais says, I don't know who you are, and that is basically the last step for Belle to fall. Or it can go the route of, yes, she acknowledges something about him, and that is his driving force to keep moving forward. He was literally at that crossroads, and what she said was going to make it or break it for him. And I love how it kind of concluded. The idea of like, I don't know who you are, but let's go train because I feel like I've beat you multiple times. I feel like we should go up to that wall over there and do something. It makes sense that she recognized him in some way. If Aina could do it, if this guild mistress lady could do it, then I feel like Ais could. With as much time they've spent together, I feel like if Ais did not acknowledge Belle in some way, I feel like that would be a discredit to her character. Because this is finally somebody else that has confronted Belle that has a really strong bond with him that has acknowledged him in some way. Yes, it still hurts that, like Lily and all these other characters, Welf, didn't acknowledge him at that moment. They are in their own moments. Like we had a moment in this episode with Welf kind of going, who'd I make this for? It obviously looks like I worked really hard on this. And you have Hestia's like, yeah, that's a good thing. It's a good thing that you see that. You worked really hard kind of thing. But yeah, I feel like if anybody confronts Belle and they don't somehow have something triggered, it sort of is a discredit to their character. It's a discredit to their personality and their relationship with Belle. So to have Ais not acknowledge something about Belle would really ruin her character. But in the end, the moment that she does like acknowledge that, no, I remember something about you. There's something that something here is clicking. I feel a nostalgia. And so let's go train together. Let's go do this thing together. So it's not only the fact that she's acknowledging who Belle is in a way, but she's also acknowledging what their connection was. That's the twofold thing there. It's an acknowledgement of who Belle is, but more so acknowledging what she means to him. And that is like this massive thing for him. Like I can totally see him as a character crying right there. Like just breaking down in tears. Everything that had been told is a lie all this point. And again, he was to the point where he was breaking. Freya almost had him. Freya almost had him. And I felt this way the moment that Hestia confronted Ais. I was like, yeah, that's true, because I felt like that was the direction it was going to go. And I think I even said in my impressions of that video back there, when Hestia first confronted Ais, I'm like, yeah, I feel like she's going to be that last step. Like, jump forward, he's going to run into Ais, and she is going to be that last straw on the camel's back. Snap, it breaks. But how the writer kind of played it out here is that, yes, it's sort of a showing of how important Ais is, and it actually works well for her character. Because again, like I said before, I really don't get Ais' character, at least the adaptation. I'm sure that the source material, there's probably a lot more in Ais' character, but I've never found her interesting. She's, again, just a really strong person that eats potatoes. Anyways, really, really cool scene. I thought it got me emotional. I was like, holy crap, that was so well put together. I love that. The other two, best sisters, by the way, the other two just kind of walking forward and saying, no, we're not supposed to talk to them. Again, kind of getting that idea of this has kind of been established that the entire area, everybody stay away from Belle. Again, all the villagers stay away from Belle. I kind of like how they show that with them walking through the townsfolk, and he's like, I kind of accept this now. I hate the fact that this is normal for me now. But yeah, equal with them. Don't address him. Hey, Ais, what are you doing? Come on, we're not supposed to talk to that guy. And she's like, wait, let's go train together. I like if I grabbed his hand. Let's go, boy. I think we're supposed to go fight on that wall over there. Let's head over there. It's so good. It was so good. Anyways, the rest of the episode was fantastic as well. We're finally getting everything picking up. We're done with the gaslighting Belle stuff, and we're finally going to have characters finally do stuff. We finally got Hermes involved, all this stuff. But what I want to address is really around the Freya Familia. and I've been kind of building this up as my theory for the longest time now, is that the Familia itself is going to aid Belle in a way. And I was dead set that it's going to be Hedden. I just had this feeling that it's going to be Hedden. Hedden at some point is going to help Belle, either because he feels like this is ruining Freya and he needs to help Freya in a way by removing Belle, or the idea that he's just going to assist Belle. It's more the idea that I think he just doesn't think this is good for Freya, and for her sake, he wants to stop it. He sees her impending doom coming. But this episode had me kind of wondering. This episode really had me kind of wondering, both by the conversation that Hedden has with the Familia themselves in that diner, where he's basically saying, you all need to step up. They're like, you need to stop, man. You're hurting them. I mean, you're pushing it too far. You're going to cause problems, which is kind of funny because it almost feels like everybody's kind of feeling bad for Belle. Like, everybody's liking Belle now. And I mean, we kind of got in that with one of them was talking about the fact that they're addressing Belle as with respect because he's able to take on Hedden. But I think people have gained respect for Belle, and at the same time, they're starting to like him. It's like with Freya. Freya herself fell in love with that side of Belle. They're seeing how hard he works, and he's a good guy. So it's like Hedden here is getting frustrated. Now, it's interesting because later on, when Belle asks Hedden about Seer again, he gets frustrated. He gives a statement that you're the only one that can't stand still. You're the only one that needs to keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. He doesn't like the idea of Belle sitting there. The way that he says it's very vague. He's not saying, shape up, boy, go back to Freya, give up on the Seer. He doesn't say that. He just says, yeah, Seer doesn't exist. You don't know what you're talking about. You're acting crazy. But when Belle says, am I crazy? He says, keep moving forward. You're the only one that can. And then right after that, just so happens to bring up the fact that Loki Familia is coming back and to pull back the guards. I think he wants Belle to make a decision. I think where we're putting Hedden right now is not so much that he's working against Freya, not so much that he gives a crap about Belle. He just doesn't like what's being caused here. Everybody in the Familia is addressing this. Everybody's saying that Freya is hurting. She's panicking. She's cornered. She's in trouble. They keep finding her and she's in her room and she's kind of isolating herself. Something's wrong. So I think it's both a twofold thing here, is that the Familia itself, and I think Hedden especially, they're getting frustrated. They're getting tired of this. This needs to stop. They don't have all the time in the world. And yes, from Freya's perspective, it gets a sense that she's getting desperate, but it's also implying the idea that they have a limited amount of time. Now, that's two ways I can see that going. One is that Freya obviously acknowledged that she can't keep people charmed forever, that she only has so much time to break Belle, and that she needs to get this crap fixed. But additionally, she just could be losing heart. Hedden said something to the effect of that she might be questioning the choice. And the only choice that we've indicated so far with this whole situation was the choice whether or not to just completely capture Belle or try to win him over naturally. So yeah, is she regretting the idea that she chose, instead of having Seer keep pushing Belle and just win him over a normal way, that she chose to capture him and force him to be broken in order to take him over? That's, I wonder. Or is it that she has a limited time that she has to get this figured out because either the Familias are coming up, because again, we have Loki's Familias coming up. Who else is still down there? I'm not quite sure. But who else might be possibly coming up there? Who could speak out? Is it just in general the idea that she can't keep everybody charmed forever? Again, you have people that are working in the background that she knows are there. She knows that Asfi is there. She knows that people are going to eventually rise up and break this whole thing that she's created. She can't keep it there forever. Or again, can her charming spell eventually break? Can she keep reapplying it? Will she run out of energy? That kind of stuff. Or is there a designated time before something happens? Like going back into the whole story about the dragon and everything, is something like that going on? Is there going to come an appointed time where she needs to get Belle and capture him before she has to go do something, before she gets applied to something, before some bad thing happens that's going to involve her? Very curious. But yeah, I'm kind of interested in the fact that everybody's kind of getting restless. They're getting sick of this. It kind of transitioned because it was before, literally in the last episode, everybody was jealous of Belle. He's got all of our attention. Now people are defending Belle. They don't like how he's being treated. They like him. Everybody's getting won over just like Freya was. It's just Belle, the cute little rabbit. He's so nice. Anyways, aside from that, yes, we have Hestia, and she is finally meeting with Asfi, going to meet with Asfi somewhere, and that's where she gets him the lowdown that, yeah, it seems like the Familia is not doing very well. I kind of feel a little bad there when Hestia just kind of clomps on her because, yeah, finally somebody that's not mind control like everybody else. Finally, somebody else like me, somebody that knows the truth. It's got to feel really nice. But yeah, knowing that they seem distracted, she wants to work with Asfi in order to deliver the message. Is this the moment that Hermes was talking about, where this is the best moment to give this letter over? And then later on in the episode, we get to see Hermes, and yes, he's kind of realizing that he's stuck in a loop. That's very interesting, which that makes sense, because I guess what we're applying here is what Hermes is going through is similar to what Aina did at some point. That what's happening is Hermes, every single time, probably every single day, he is figuring this out, and then they have to come in and retarm him and wipe out that memory of everything that he's figured out, and he has to start over again. So he's leaving these messages to all of his children so that they can give him this message, because he knows he's going to get his memory wiped again, because he's going to snap out of it eventually. But that was interesting, though, because yes, he eventually goes out goes out into the city. Asfi, I love you. Please come back to me. She probably loved hearing that. And so she tells him, yeah, go to the potato place. Hestia's there, freaking out. Yeah, you can buy the rest of the stuff, and has the message in there. Cute little outfit for Hestia. And then, yes, he finds the note that he left himself. Now, this is interesting because it says, and this is probably a light novel readers might know a little more into this than I do, but the message itself says to make a hearth out of Arario. What type of hearth? And this is a message that Hermes is giving himself, which is probably going to be vague on purpose. Is he giving himself a message that only he would really understand? What? Make a hearth out of Arario? Is hearth a specific thing? Yes, I would assume that it's maybe to make a beacon of light for everybody else. Either way, it kind of comes down to, what does Hermes feel a hearth is? It would be kind of interesting if it turns out to be like literally just blow the place up, like set it on fire, cause havoc. That would actually work. He's supposed to be set right now to manage the wood. I wonder if there's a side of him that actually knew that if he got taken over, he'd probably get assigned to doing something minuscule like doing the firewood. And he knew that he'd be working with a lot of the wood. Like, yes, if I got taken control of by her, she would probably get me isolated. Because again, they're talking about how they're being forced to have to work this outer ring and just the outer ring. So he's being kept off the side. And he's like, I know that she would probably have me kept to the side because I would figure this out. So I would be working on the wood. And if I was working on the wood, I can set it on fire. And if he does set fire to a lot of Arario, yeah, that would cause so much havoc. It would be difficult for them to manage watching them. It actually makes perfect sense. I think that's where that's going. That I think it's literal. Set fire to the place, cause mayhem, and they won't be able to keep track of everybody. And that'll be the time for a lot of people to start moving. That's probably what it is. And yeah, I could see him probably thinking, I'm the only one that would think of something that crazy. Just set fire to the whole damn thing. But yeah, the rest of this episode was really around Bell and his descent into madness, or descent into giving up, which I thought was really well done. The idea that he's constantly kind of going, why bother? I'm constantly being killed and resurrected and healed and killed and resurrected and healed over and over and over again. Why am I even bothering? At some point, kind of questioning, what was I even striving for? What am I even going for? What is there to return to? What is the point in all this? Why don't I just get comfortable? And yeah, even going into Freya's bed. Here, come here. I won't do anything to you. Here, just get cozy. And he's like, oh, this is super cozy. I'm like, yeah, that's sure cozy. Just kind of just rubbing his face in it. Oh, yeah, I just want to be nice and comfy right now. Like, Bell, geez, dude. You just like, let's just go right in there and let's just get nice and comfy. But no, the thing that keeps him from falling too far is Seer. That's actually very, very interesting. The one thing that keeps him going. It could have been thinking about Ais and how he's trying to strive to get stronger for Ais. It could be about Hestia, but unfortunately the story has completely forgot about Hestia even more than Ais. It could be about all these things. My old Familia, Lily, something. Yeah, that time that I did that thing with Haruhime, whatever. No, it is Seer. And that makes sense because that's going to be the most closest thing to his mind here recently, or the most recent thing that he has done. This idea of something where I broke this girl's heart because I had a goal. And now I'm going to give up when I just broke her heart. I broke her heart because I had a goal, and now I'm going to give up on that goal. That's kind of disrespectful to Seer. Even though everybody's saying that Seer doesn't exist, in my mind she does, and I broke her heart for this goal. I can't give it up yet. I can't quite yet. So I have to seek her out. Go find Seer. Now this was interesting because he eventually goes to the tavern. And it's odd that the other two girls, Chloe and Runa, they both don't know who Seer is. Now, I would assume that if they heard that and they keep pushing him away and saying, stop coming here, there's no seer person here, stop coming here, you're crazy. I don't know why one of them wouldn't say, oh, that's right, Anya and Mia was talking about that. Now, it could be that since that happened, they came in there and erased their memories about them talking about seer. I could totally see that happening. But Mamma Mia is not going to let him go. Mamma Mia is not going to let him go. I was like, come on. Come on, Mia. Come on, Mama. You got to say something, girl. Come on. You're going to say something. Come on. But she says something a lot more than I was really expecting. That, yes, we find out why she hasn't been doing anything. She acknowledged the fact that she's from the Freya Familia. She's a half member. She's pretty much quit them. But I promised I wouldn't get involved when that day comes. So this is implying, and now I kind of wonder at this point, did she make that promise back when she quit? And that back then they were talking about this possibility of one day she happened to do this? I assume it's probably she promised at the point this all came up. She knew that Mia might get involved or something like that. Maybe Mia made an agreement with her that she wouldn't mess with her family too much. But that doesn't really make sense because, yeah, what is she pissed off about right now? I really badly want to kick the crap out of those people that hurt my girls. They laid their hands on my girls, and I so badly want to do something, but I made that promise. So I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. She made a promise at some point, and I don't think it's about this, because again, if she made the promise so that they wouldn't hurt her girls, they're touching their girls, so that promise is already broken. And maybe that's why she decided to open her mouth a little bit, which is just enough. Again, it's just the idea of kind of acknowledging to him, you know full well who you are. You know who you are. Be who you are. Keep running. It's basically her saying, you're not crazy, and whatever you're striving for, don't give up. That's all she's saying, and that's all he really needs, is somebody to say, keep going forward. You're not on the wrong path. And it's funny because Hedden just before then was talking about the idea of moving forward. Stop being stuck in one place. But again, I kind of question why Hedden said that. Is he saying that for the sake of, dive into Freya's arms? Or is he saying just don't sit there and dither? Make a decision. Either you're staying here or leave. But stop sitting still because, goddamn, this is getting chaotic. We're all tired of this. Nobody likes this. Nobody's liking this situation except for Freya, and she seems like she's upset too because you're not breaking fast enough. But again, that's when he goes off to sea. Ais, which was a really good scene. Really, really like that scene. Finally having somebody that at least shows that they remember him. Just that's all it needs. Just somebody that says that they remember him in some way, and that just completely breaks him. And it was interesting that he goes back to the Freya Familia. That's the odd thing there. After getting that confirmation from Ais, he goes straight back to the Familia and starts training with Hedden again. Gets the upper hand on Hedden. Hedden has to smack him back down again. But he's acknowledging here that, yes, of everything, Seer's nowhere to be found. Everybody's saying Seer doesn't exist. Everybody's saying that I was never with Hestia. Hestia is looking at me like I don't exist. Everybody in the Familia says I don't exist. Everybody in this Familia says that I exist. So this has to be a curse, right? No, there's the breaking point. And this might be something that'll be brought up between him. I'm thinking the next episode is going to open up with him meeting with Freya. And he's probably going to say that he's more dedicated. I don't know. I'm curious if he's going to act dumb still, like act like he's still broken, or if he's just going to go back to her and say, look, no, I'm accepting my memories again. And that's going to set Freya off bad if he does that. I think she's not going to show it at first, but she's probably going to show a sign of it. Like, oh crap, like a tensing up. But I think she's probably going to play into it a little bit, but she's probably ticked off behind the scenes. But it makes sense that the one thing that he acknowledges, even though you're saying that I've always been here, my skills, my strength, techniques, everything I have was all in my memories. I remember when Ais showed me how to do that. I remember when she told me how to do this, and I just pulled that move off on Hedden. Bam, it connects. No, I'm not crazy. It all makes sense. And even Ais gives an indication that she knows. It's very cool. But anyway, that's all. My gosh, that's a long video on this episode. It was a really good episode. I really enjoyed this episode. Really, really solid episode, and I am looking forward to more. So love it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, y'all take care.